Hey YouTube, we're not going to call this Beyond the Hype because even though everyone thinks Golisopod is better, there's not like it's going to be like a top meta or anything in Ultra League. But I used it in Ultra League. Let's just quickly do the same sort of analysis that we'll always do. So it is a bug and water, so weak to electric, flying, and rock, which is okay. There's not a ton, there's some of this, but there's not a ton of it in the Ultra League. But there is a lot of sort of where it resists, right? There's a lot of fighting. There's a decent amount of water, okay ground, okay ice, right? So in terms of like its typing, because I really like it for Ultra League. When we go to the battles here, I'm gonna say it. I think personally, this is just my opinion. I think it plays better than its win loss here. So it's a 22-25 win loss, but as you can see, like there's no like super hard wins, right? Like I think the highest one is like 644 against Swampert, and that's because Swampert can't throw anything against you. So if you're thinking like, oh man, if this thing only goes to 644 on the high end, and it's against something that can't even throw anything at you, why do you think it's like way better than it is? And when it comes down to is, so let's just go over some of the losses. Like you're weak to flying, right? So anything that has flying type moves. Charizard, again, if it shields down, you can land a liquidation on Charizard, so it's not as bad, but Charizard just with a wing attack advantage. So anything that's like a wing attack advantage or anything that resists the claws, right? Resist ghosts or normal typing dark, you are going to lose to that. Some of these other ones, it just, again, like Gyarados, Poliwrath, Tapu Fini, these are where like not the Poliwrath. Yeah, no, Poliwrath because Poliwrath. Yeah, Gyarados because of the flying, Poliwrath because of the fighting, and Tapu because of the fairy all resist bug. And they're all water, so they all resist water. So all these three Pokemon have you can't throw any fast moves at them. Right? So from that perspective, there's a lot of losses, but having played it, I feel like one, if you get like a Claw or 2 advantage as a safe swap, right? So 1 Claw already makes you like a way better medium distribution, and then obviously 2 Claws put you on the nice end, right? So it's one of those like, can it be used as a safe step to flip some matchups? Yes. I also feel like this can maybe play better in the 2 shield, just because how spammy the claws are. So 18 and 20. So I guess you still need probably claw or 2 advantage. Yeah, 1 claw, 21, 8, 20. So let's focus on the battles. This team itself, again, not amazing because you need something for flyers, and I put in Cobalion, which is like not a flyer answer, and then Skunk Tank. So I wouldn't use this team. But let's look at the battles to actually see how this Pokemon plays. So I've had it on the lead, and it just seems like in any matchup you're okay, right? So they come in Jellicent, which is not a bad idea, but again, these claws are adding up, and I catch the Shadow Ball, right? Because they only have Surf and Shadow Ball, so I expect the Shadow Ball, and I will catch it on a Dark Pokemon. So just absorbing that, we're now throwing resisted fast moves here. They will have Surf, I will have super effective Crunch. Claws did some damage, and I have a ton of energy on the Golisopod, right? And that's kind of like how I played with Golisopod, just like claws, ton of energy, ton of spamming. This get alignment here, and maybe I'll shield 1. I don't even know if I will shield quite on. Yeah, I'll shield 1 because I know I can get a Crunch off. But if they shield this Crunch, I may just let this go and come in and claw and x-scissor / liquidation because I know that I can do that. Let's see what I do here, because it's not like I have an amazing matchup against X. Yeah, I like good past me. I think this is the right play, right? Because here we go. Your claws are just adding up like crazy. Berserker comes in. Could have close combat, so I'm gonna have to shield this up. So that's fine. I'm throwing right there. I probably could have farmed up a little more, knowing that they just dumped all their energy. Maybe we just CMP'd and I can't throw anything now. But loaded with energy on the Golisopod because I was smart enough to realize that I have a better answer for this. Cobalion, even though double kicks are resisted, the Shadow Balls, you're pretty tanky, so you can at least take 1 here. Just going to go straight Stone Edge. I really don't want them to get to a Surf here. So getting to a Stone Edge, this will take out, and let's see what's in the back here. It is a Clefable. And so this is where I'm just like, okay, force it to throw. Even if it throws, that's okay. And now you're just going to hopefully be able to outspam because you are loaded with energy. So here comes the first liquidation. as you're going to see against like very, like, this is a very excelled Pokemon, right? Clefable. So got 1 off, so it's going to take multiple moves, but 2 off, get the defense fall, and now I'm just going to be able to outpace. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I loaded up on the Jellicent multiple times, so I was already at like close to 100 energy, but before they can even get a Moonblast off, I get 2 liquidations and an x-scissor off. This lead is a good lead, so I expect them to leave immediately into a Greninja, and this is a pretty good answer to Greninja. You can live 1 Hydro for sure. I don't think you can probably not. I don't think you can live 2. No, so I'm gonna have to throw here and not on CMP like an idiot. So now I have to shield. I will be able to flip this. I mean, the sort of only good news is like because we both have 3-turn fast moves, I now denied it, but that does not help when they're now up a shield advantage because they could just probably farm here. That stone is going to hurt. I'm not going to get to another one, so I'm just going to double kick this because any damage is good. And now I'm seeing maybe my switch timer's up. I'm going to try and come and claw in on a... Yeah, that's what I figured I was going to do. I was going to come and claw in because 3-turn fast move, or 5-turn fast move versus 2, I'm going to get multiple off. And now, again, not a good matchup at all here. But this is where you're just going to see the X-scissor and the liquidation come in. And this is where actually I do not like x-scissors. So I think x-scissors is a big improvement overall. Because again, that is good chip there. But just the inability to just like maybe get to a liquidation and bait an x-scissor. Like, because I'll get to another one. But had I like baited one and get to like a liquidation, maybe another x-scissor. So that extra, you really feel that extra energy that it costs to get to. You also feel the damage that it outputs, so it's just your preference. I do think it's improved overall. I think in the Ultra League it is very I think safe. Like you can pair, I wouldn't do a Cobalion, but if you had like another flyer, another like maybe a Galarian Stunfisk or a Registeel to deal with the flyers better, I think that would be better than Cobalion. I think probably Registeel because you can have something to beat the... Well, no, you do fight against Jellicent there, so that's fine. Never mind. Toxicroak, so good lead because you resist the bug. I mean the fighting as a bug. They're staying in. They can't throw a Mud Bomb either, but they can throw Sludge Bomb. And this is what I kind of like. This will not KO. And now it's like, I really don't want to take a Sludge Bomb here. So like, I probably will shield. This is sort of the only drawback with Pokemon. And this is where it's now like, now they come in again. So I'm going to do the exact same play that I did last time. 4, 5. It's very easy to catch on a Jellicent. Like these 3-turn fast moves. This is why I think a Zoom Roll is not as played as much. Well, it probably has more play now with the way the meta is shaping up in the Great League. But like 3-turn fast moves are somewhat easy to catch on as well. Especially like those, I call them clunky. But I guess all 3-turn fast moves are the same. I guess some aren't more clunky than others. I just feel like Hex, Bubble, like they just feel clunky. But I'm trying to think like a 3-turn fast move that doesn't feel clunky. Like Bullet Seed is a 3-turn fast move but doesn't feel clunky. But that doesn't make any sense, right? Because they're both the exact same. It just feels different, even though that does not make sense. I'm aware of that. And this is where having like a more bait would be good, because again, it doesn't take out anyways. Like coming Guzzlord, and this is looking just like not hard countered, but looking pretty good. Grab one shield there, and now Dragon Tail's resisted. Yeah, not much they can do there. Tapu, this is an interesting one where I'm gonna just stay in. So X-scissor resisted, liquidation resisted. So I think liquidation is the better move because it has a chance to lower their defense. But the claws are adding up. Meanwhile, right, so I got one defense drop there, which is great. Meanwhile, the water gun is resisted. They bait me, really, right? Because they really could only throw a Moonblast there to do a move. So I thought they would, but good bait there. But because I've already lowered their defense once, and now for a second time, out comes Charizard. And this is where actually having like a proper thing, like Galarian Stunfisk being able to Rock Slide is that. I do beta liquidation. I figure that I have it there. This is just sort of like a neutralish. One fire bats you live, because I'm not a shadow. They are a shadow. So unfortunately they go back to back here, which is not great. And unfortunately for me, this is why this team doesn't work, right? So now I have to come back in here. I'll get an x-scissor off. No, I even won't. Wow, I'm in trouble. So yeah, build better against Charizard if you're going to run a Golisopod. Like, there's no way I'm going to win this matchup. They're probably in, yeah, I was about to say, they're maybe in Sacred Sword range at this point, because it's a shadow and it's already in the red. But now they just shield because they're going to want to get off a Blast Burn. So I got to shield back. And this is not looking good. And it's a Gliscor. So this game is a top left. Yep. So yeah, build better here. Golisopod mirror match, obviously liquidation resisted. You just throw the x-scissor. Looks like we're slightly desynced there, so I'm going to get this off before they do. It does like 40-ish%. They looks like we CMP tied, so we're going to be right back on the proper Shadow Claw there. Which it looks crazy, just both going back and forth. And out comes a Steelix, so good catch, eating that X-Scissor. But I got an answer for Steelix. You know what? I try to have at least one answer for Steelix on all my teams. I have not seen many Steelix. And I think it's just because there are just so... You know what my next team actually is? No, not the next team. I think I have at least one, maybe two other teams before this. But my next team that I'm running with is a anti-Virizion team. I've got 3 Virizion answers because I'm seeing Virizion everywhere because people are using Cobalion. They're using... Virizion is an answer to Steelix. It's an answer to Cobalion, which people are using. It's an answer to all the Steels people are using. It does well against Tapu Fini if you're running the Leaf Blade on it, right? So I'm seeing a lot of Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade, Virizion, so I'm going to deal with that. Coming here, I'm basically just sacrificing this at this point. Force the Rock Slide, super effective. This team's also like poorly constructed because like Galarian Stunfisk can do Rock Slides against Golisopod and then Earthquakes against the other two. So yeah, not super well done on my part with this team. I do think I will just outpace this anyways. That's sort of one of the strengths of Cobalion. It just double kick Sacred Sword just always comes so fast at you. And I will take it out for the win. Crest. So this is probably a great lead, right? Super effective Claw, super effective X-Scissor. Out comes the Charizard. Again, I just have to like stay in here, bait the liquidation, probably come Skunk next again. So yeah, the thing is like, if you want to beat Charizard, but Golisopod's already a water, so like you can't come in with like a Tapu because then you're like double weak to electric. And sort of limited there. So from that perspective, it's just kind of like, okay. Is this where they double bait me and then blast burn me? I'm pretty sure I remember getting double clawed here and then a blast burn to take me out. Yeah. So that is very, very, very unfortunate. Yeah, just come get a little more energy because they have the crest, which is great, and then this is not good. So this game, I cannot see a win condition here because Scrafty is just too tanky, and that's where kind of Golisopod struggles in. Like I showed the obvious flaws in the flyers and anything that resist. So and I guess Scrafty resists the claws. That's why it's so bad too. But I had a feeling that all the other sort of bulkier Pokemon are also going to deal with Golisopod pretty well. Just throwing in here. I'm just looking at other like bulkier Pokemon. Giratina, I mean Giratina, you don't have anything to throw at them because both moves are resisted. Steelix, I think you just get outbulked, right? Even though you can do super effective liquidations if they just break and swipe you a couple times. You're in trouble there. Like there's one loss against Escav. How do you lose to Escav when they have counter? They need to land a Mega Horn for 62%. They need to bait a Drowan and then land a Mega Horn to win. But they still win in that scenario, which is crazy to me. And like Trevenant, you lose Trevenant as well at 467. That is also them baiting a Seed Bomb and landing a Shadow Ball. So it's close. Like these are like they have like 6 HP, 7 HP left. So it's not like they're bad losses. It just feels like some of the times, again, you're not a heavier hitting Pokemon. You are more known for your spamminess. And let me actually see, 161 attack. How does that compare with stuff? Cobalion, only 146 attack, but higher on the stamina and defense. Swampert is obviously more attack heavy, so 150. Interesting. Maybe that's just how much Hydro hits. Jesus, because I was like, Swampert hits way harder. Then I looked up the stats and they're very similar actually. 161 attack for Golisopod, 158 for Swampert, and then the defense and staminas are basically just switched, 171 and 140 over, and then 140, 176. So they're basically just inverse there. But I guess it's just that damage per energy that you get with Hydro Cannon compared to X-scissor and Liquidation, right? Because if you go to charge moves, obviously Hydro Cannon's like broken. 40 energy for 80 damage plus stab, right? So tons of damage per energy there. And then Earthquake, they nerfed it a little bit, but that's still 110 damage over 65. So X-scissor is now 65 damage for 40 energy, which is not an 1.62, so it's not bad, but it's not great. Liquidation is probably, yeah, Liquidation is not amazing. 45 energy for 70 damage, 1.55 damage per energy. That'll obviously be increased because you got stab on it, and a 30% chance of one defense lowering, right? So there's your trade-off. Hydro is obviously like a super hard hitting, quicker energy, harder hitting move. So this is higher energy, lower damage, but 30% chance of lowering your opponent's defense. So that's sort of the trade-off that you get there. So yeah, anyways, it's a good Pokemon. I don't think it's like amazing by any means necessary, but I would be comfortable running it. In terms of like top 10 to 15, it's probably like right around 15 to 20 for me. I think it's ranked appropriately in like that 23 range because I Registeel, Swampert, all those Pokemon I would rather run before this, but this is a nice Pokemon to run. Anyways, that's it. That's my thoughts on the Pokemon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.